Gauteng Education Department announced new regulations on school admissions, including the newly determined feeder zones. This follows a 2016 Constitutional Court ruling directing the department to determine feeder zones for public schools in the province. Feeder zones used to be within a 5-kilometer radius. They've now been extended to 30 kilometers. eNCA's Tshegohaco Moagi was there and joins us now for this. One would say that it's a really successful win for those parents that are seeking better schools for their children, especially when it comes to expanding that reach from 5 kilometers, that they can now find schools within a 30-kilometer radius. Win for parents across the country, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, Faith. It really is a win for parents and also for pupils, really, that can actually now just decide which particular school they would actually like to go to. But we do remember, Faith, there was a bit of contention that came with this particular decision by the Gauteng Department of Education to actually extend the radius and the feeder zones for where parents can apply to get their children into schooling. There was a lot of contention. Also, the FF Plus has been speaking quite vocally about how this is not feasible at all. But the MEC of Education, Panyazali Sufi, saying that it is feasible and it has been done according to what the Constitution had ruled. And this is what he said, Faith, when I spoke to him and asked him about the contentions that he has had before.
Right will not like this. It's a reality because they don't want to share their privileges. They really believe that privileges belongs to them and them alone. If they say township is not quality, who must be in the township? Who must not be in the township? What we are trying to do, we are equalizing everything, sharing the privileges. But remember, those that were used to nice things alone, even when they have to share those nice things, they will feel that they have been rejected. And the truth that they are not rejecting anyone. If our children during birthday parties can play at the restaurant together, but when they have to be in the classroom together, it's wrong, then something is wrong. But we are ready. We are ready. Our legal team is here. We are combat ready. Whoever that wants to take us to court, we are ready. But the question is, we are implementing a constitutional court judgment. They took us to court. We defeated them in court. And the Constitutional Court, the last time I checked, is the highest court. There's no court beyond the Constitutional Court. So if they are saying they're going to challenge this, I'm wondering where they're going to challenge it, because we're implementing the decision of the Constitutional Court. And we have implemented it to the latter. We even went back to the Constitutional Court to say, clarify us, are we correct in interpreting this way? And they said, yeah, you are correct. So what we have here is a new South Africa that our children wanted. So no one will ever oppress our children, even if you are gone. So our children are safe, and this is the gift that we're giving them.
Well, just listening to MEC Panyazali Sufi speaking around, the extending that radius to 30 kilometers and really informing and speaking about how the Freedom Front Plus perhaps is looking at reserving the privilege of good education to just the minority, and therefore not wanting, certain schools to be even accessible to the masses and to parents who want to take their children to better schools. In that case, could that possibly be the reason why the Freedom Front Plus was actually saying that this project is not feasible, that in fact they wanted to reserve the privilege of good quality urban schools in the towns, schools in the suburbs, to the few and the minority children at the expense of the majority, who many of them still have to go to, number one, schools that are in the township especially?
Absolutely, Faith. That could actually be one of the reasons why the FF Plus says that this is not feasible, because of the main thing that they want to actually keep the schools to themselves, so to speak, according also to what Panyazali Sufi was saying there. So it really is an interesting dynamic and an interesting time that we are in here in Gauteng. But the MEC has really also called that we need more of this to take place in other provinces. And he did say that the incoming Minister of Education should really consider taking this to other provinces and ensuring that other provinces have got the same privilege that the Gauteng pupils will now be getting. This will also be this will actually be taking place from the 2020 admissions. So when admissions are open in May, he did mention that the admissions will be, the online admissions will be open after the elections in May. And as soon as that is open, then the first class to actually feel this kind of benefit of actually being able to choose their own school within a 30-kilometer radius will be the students of 2020 that will be going in school, applying for school in 2020. So it is actually happening quite quickly. It just needs to be gazetted, and from there, then it is going to be implemented.
I mean, speaking about it being gazetted and then implemented, I think the next question will be, why is it not being implemented nationwide? I mean, he's proposing as the MEC that this needs to be extended to schools across the country. All provinces need to adopt this mechanism, and simply because to allow access to all children. And I'm not even thinking of Gauteng right now. I'm looking at Mpumalanga or Free State or the Northern Cape, where you still have children who are going into rural schools who want the opportunity to take their, and where parents want the opportunity to take their kids to schools that are in the towns, schools that are in the more urban areas, schools that are for those who were reserved, or that were reserved for those who were previously advantaged. So why hasn't the Minister of Basic Education come to the party and said, you know what, MEC, what you've adopted is actually a good idea. Let's extend it across the country?
Well, at this point in time, Faith, we are expecting that the minister will actually say something about this particular feeder zones. I do know that obviously these discussions did not just happen at Gauteng Education Department. They definitely should have happened nationally as well. So we're just really waiting for it to get into to actually start here in Gauteng. I think that is the main thing. I think Gauteng is going to be like it's going to be the guinea pig, so to speak. So this will actually help and be able to see what they can correct, how they can correct it, and then move it on to the other provinces. But you are definitely right. There are a lot of provinces that actually need this kind of situation and this regulation to really be put in place.